A 26-year-old man appears in court in New Zealand, charged with murdering a British backpacker on a round-the-world trip.
Hello, I'm Ben Bland in London, also in the programme. Indonesian police seize 8,000 songbirds in just a week, all destined for sale on the black market. The steps South Korean women take to look the part for their careers and the growing movement to do it differently.
Live from our studios in Singapore and London. This is BBC World News. It's Newsday.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here in Singapore, midnight in London and 4 p.m. in Vancouver, Canada, where a top Chinese executive arrested there has claimed she's innocent of the charges against her. It's believed Meng Wanzhou is being held over alleged breaches of U.S. sanctions. She's just applied for bail. China has called the detention extremely bad and a serious violation. But Washington says it's a court matter and won't affect trade talks between the two countries. James Ramsley has more.
It's thought that telecom giant Huawei's chief financial officer, Meng Wanzhou, is being held here in this Canadian prison while she waits to find out if she's been granted bail. China's foreign ministry has summoned the US ambassador in Beijing, demanding details of the detention and insisting that America withdraw Ms. Meng's arrest warrant. The arrest happened as US President Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping attempted to de-escalate a bitter trade war at the G20 summit last week. America's trade representative insists that Ms. Meng's arrest won't have much of an impact on talks.
It is totally separate from anything that I work on or anything that the trade policy people in the administration work on. So for us, it's unrelated. It's criminal justice.
The Huawei executive is accused of violating US sanctions by selling telecom equipment to Iran. She was taken into custody last week in Vancouver while changing planes. China's state media called the arrest a targeted attack against China's leading technology companies, and Canada's role as a participating wrecker is becoming more and more obvious. According to court documents, Ms. Meng has long-standing ties to Vancouver dating back at least 15 years, as well as significant property holdings in the city. Her family also sought leave to remain in Vancouver if she was granted bail, with her husband saying he plans to bring the couple's daughter to Vancouver to attend school during the trial. Meng Wanzhou's court hearing is due to resume on Monday. James Ramsley, BBC News.
Let's take a look now at some of the day's other main news. A parliamentary vote over the deal for Britain's exit from the European Union will go ahead this week. That is according to the Brexit Secretary, Stephen Barclay. He said it was the only way to deliver what people had voted for. However, there have been predictions of a heavy defeat for the government. Our political correspondent, Ian Watson, explains.
Theresa May is staring defeat in the face, but Downing Street is insisting that Tuesday's vote will indeed go ahead. But I have to tell you that very senior figures, even at this late stage, are still pressing for a postponement. What she intends to do is speak to some of her MPs who still have very serious doubts about the arrangements for avoiding a hard border in Ireland, the so-called backstop. She spoke to her Irish counterpart, Leo Varadkar. Now, Downing Street know if she can allay those concerns, the rebellion will diminish significantly, but it's still difficult to see what of substance she can offer that can really make a difference. Interestingly tonight, another development, Jeremy Corbyn, the Labour leader, under a bit of pressure. Prominent leaders from parties across Europe have delivered him this letter, calling on him explicitly to back a new referendum on what they call a people's voice before Britain leaves the European Union. Now, Theresa May said if she loses this crucial vote here at Westminster on Tuesday, we're in uncharted waters. And I think she's right in this respect. The only certainty here at Westminster is uncertainty.
Indeed. Ian Watson there, and there'll be more on investors' concerns about Brexit in Asia Business Report. For now, though, also making news today, the French President Emmanuel Macron will address the nation later as he tries to bring 4 weeks of violent anti-government protests to an end. France has now had 4 weekends in a row of demonstrations against fuel tax rises, high living costs and other issues. About 125,000 protesters were on the streets on Saturday, with more than 1,700 arrested. Lucy Williamson is in Paris.
President Macron is facing a couple of problems tonight. One is that if he tackled these protests a few weeks ago, he might have got away with simply cancelling the rise in fuel taxes. Trouble is, since then, the movement has grown, and with it, the movement's demands. And the second problem he faces is that it's also a very diverse movement. People have joined it, bringing all kinds of grievances. So satisfying all of them is going to be quite difficult. And the government spokesman today said he thought it might be an almost made-to-measure solution. So President Macron's speech tomorrow is going to have to do quite a lot of things. And I think first and foremost, he's going to want to convince people that he's really listening, that France's democratically elected leaders feel responsible to those who are struggling and really hear what they're trying to say. And that is probably going to mean some more financial concessions, whether that's bonuses for low-paid workers or lifting some taxes. The real problem he's got is trying to do all of that whilst not looking weak and not rowing back on the reform programme he came to power to deliver.
The two sides in Yemen's war have held their first round of talks in Sweden. Discussions were between the Yemeni government and Houthi rebel representatives. They focused on a potential prisoner swap, allowing humanitarian aid in, and stopping the violence in the main port, Hodeidah. The deadline for detaining the former Nissan chairman, Carlos Ghosn, runs out later. He's being held as part of an investigation into suspected financial misconduct. Mr. Ghosn was arrested in Japan last month and has been detained since. He is accused of underreporting his earnings for several years. The Nissan board sacked him in November, but he remains chairman and chief executive of Renault. Japan's Princess Masako says she feels insecure about becoming empress next April. The princess has suffered from a stress-related disorder for years and says she's recovering and will try to perform more royal duties. The princess, educated at Oxford and Harvard, had a promising career as a diplomat before she married the Crown Prince in 1993. Thousands of people have held a rally in the Indian capital Delhi to demand the right to build a Hindu temple at a controversial site in Ayodhya. A mosque there was destroyed by hardline Hindus 26 years ago. The issue is one of the most divisive in the country. Manchester City striker Raheem Sterling has accused some British newspapers of helping to fuel racism with the way in which they portray young black footballers. Sterling's comments came after he suffered alleged racist abuse during Manchester City's 2-0 defeat at Chelsea on Saturday.
A man charged with the murder of British backpacker Grace Millane has appeared in a New Zealand court. Detectives have found a body in Woodland near Auckland earlier, although formal identification is still to take place. The BBC's Phil Mercer told me the latest.
Well, this 26-year-old man has made his first appearance in court since being charged with the murder of 22-year-old Grace Millane. She was last seen in central Auckland in the evening of December the 1st, and the man that she was spotted on security vision with is the man who's appeared in court today. The judge has addressed members of Grace Millane's family, saying that their grief must be desperate, and the judge also saying that justice for Grace, he hoped, would be swift and fair. This man's identity, we don't know too much about him. His identity has been suppressed and he's been remanded in custody. The judge said that he would be a high-risk remand prisoner and he's due back in court in the latter stages of next month.
As you say, it is every parent's nightmare, especially for this to have taken place in New Zealand.
We have to say that, generally speaking, New Zealand is a very safe and a very welcoming country. We are into the summer here in the southern hemisphere, and travellers coming from all over the world usually spend their summer months, the warm summer months, are either in Australia or in New Zealand. And New Zealand has reacted with great shock to the death of the British backpacker. As you say, a body was found during a police search about 25 kilometres outside of Auckland on Sunday. That body has still to be formally identified, but the police in New Zealand are pretty sure that it is that of the British backpacker. Those formal identifications will take place, but once again it has shocked an entire nation, and this story is of course making global headlines.
It's Phil Mercer there speaking to Mariko a little earlier. Police in Indonesia have seized 8,000 birds that were being smuggled illegally in just 1 week. Officers believe the birds are being snatched from the wilds of Sumatra on a large scale. The 3 shipments were intercepted on their way to Java. It's home to the largest bird markets in Southeast Asia and has a thriving illegal trade in songbirds. Sarin Chung is from the wildlife trade organisation Traffic. She explained more to me about the shipments.
There's just an unusually large number of birds seized in such a short period of time because large seizures don't often take place so frequently. But the number of birds moved in a single shipment tend to number in the hundreds or thousands. So these are indeed quite representative of the scale of wild birds being trapped and illegally transported to the point of sale. So to give you an idea of the scale of how big the trade is in the market, we've recorded over 16,000 birds in Indonesia's largest bird market at any one time. So there are hundreds of such markets across the country. And we are not able to quantify how many are sold in 1 year, but this is believed to be in the hundreds of thousands as a conservative
Are any of these
estimate.
birds at risk of extinction, do we know?
Well, the birds that are involved tend to include a mix of species that are considered to be common as well as those that are threatened by extinction. And in fact, a number of these species that used to be very common across the country are now declining in the wild, and some are even threatened with extinction, as you say, due to trapping for this particular trade.
So how can this be stopped then?
Well, it's a big issue. It's very complex with lots of socio-economic factors and implications. So we require multiple approaches to do this. And what we think is really important is better regulation of the wild bird trade. So this involves, at the source end, working with communities and local authorities like the police and quarantine and the wildlife department to stop illegal trapping, and also to arrest and prosecute smugglers and illegal traders of protected species. And in parallel, we also need behavior change initiatives to reduce the demand for wild birds. And this is by promoting a shift towards sustainably sourced or domesticated birds, and also to promote love for birds in the wild rather than in a cage.
That was Sarin Chung speaking to me a little earlier. I just want to show you some live pictures now of the celebrations in Buenos Aires. This is after the Copa Libertadores, the biggest contest in South American club football. It's been won by River Plate. The match was being played at the Bernabeu Stadium in the Spanish capital, Madrid. This is after it was postponed last month, when one of the team's buses was attacked by fans in Buenos Aires. On that occasion, several players were injured, but River Plate having won the Copa Libertadores, and the celebrations in the Argentine capital.
You're watching Newsday on the BBC. Still to come on the programme. Is trouble brewing for beer? New research suggests that a harvest of barley, a key ingredient, will suffer from climate change.
Also coming up in the programme, perfecting the look to secure that job. Why things might be changing for career women in South Korea.
John Lennon was shot at the entrance to the Dakota building in the center of New York. There's been a crowd here standing in more or less silent vigil, and the flowers have been piling up.
The 14th ceasefire of this war ended at the walls of the old city of Dubrovnik. This morning, witnesses said shells were landing every 20 seconds.
People are celebrating the passing of a man they hold responsible for hundreds of deaths and oppression, where people have been gathering to mourn his passing.
Imelda Marcos, the widow of the former president of the Philippines, has gone on trial in Manila. She's facing 7 charges of tax evasion. She pleaded not guilty.
The Prince and Princess of Wales are to separate. A statement from Buckingham Palace said the decision had been reached amicably.
You're watching Newsday on the BBC. I'm Marie Goy in Singapore.
Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm Ben Bland in London. These are our top stories. China has summoned the American ambassador to demand the US authorities withdraw an arrest warrant for the top Huawei executive, Meng Wanzhou.
A 20th man has appeared in court in Auckland on charges of murdering the British backpacker Grace Millane. Let's now take a look at some front pages from around the world, and let's start with the Straits Times here in Singapore, which warns that the city-state faces a disproportionate risk from climate change. The city makes up just 0.11% of global emissions, but politicians here are deeply concerned by the threat of rising sea levels. Meanwhile, according to the South China Morning Post, race fans in Hong Kong are riding high. That's because the biggest racing day in the city's calendar got off to a flying start. Karis T-Tan and his horse, Mr. Stunning, were among the winners. And finally, the New York Times looks at the new Finnish library that's not just for bookworms. The project, which opens next week, includes electronic equipment and event spaces, so tech heads and culture vultures should also feel at home in Helsinki. So those are the papers. Now, what stories are sparking discussions online, Ben?
Well, Marika, there's one in particular that I want to tell you about and show you some pictures, actually, of a dramatic rescue in northwest China. A truck driver was trapped after his vehicle overturned and was left partly suspended off a bridge. The rescue mission took around an hour, and it involved firefighters using a crane to suspend a rescuer over the side of the bridge. You'll be pleased to know the driver is said to be recovering well.
Now, as the annual UN Climate Change Conference takes place in Poland, trouble may be brewing for the world's beer drinkers. Climate change is set to cause dramatic price increases and supply shortages, according to new research. Extreme heat waves and droughts will increasingly damage the global barley crop, meaning a common ingredient of the world's favorite alcoholic beverage will become harder to come by. Earlier, I spoke to Professor Double Guan from the University of East Anglia. He's part of the research team and told me why they decided to focus on beer.
Well, it's actually a coincidence. Actually, a group of us gathered together in a bar before the dinner last summer. I was in China, so we talk about the food and the climate change, and we discuss. There's a lot of studies focused on food quantity and also on staple food. But we all beer lovers, and we starting to ask what's about climate change, the impacts of climate change on beer. And then we decided to give a try, and then we had the expertise on the climate change modelings, and we have the expertise from the crop modelings and the social economics models. So we had made agreement in principle we can do that, and that's how it comes. So it's really a discussion between four or five of colleagues between us.
I saw your report, a lot of impact in Europe, but are we in Asia safe from this price hike?
Yes, well, in Europe, because the European beer consumption relatively is quite large, especially from per capita consumption perspective. For example, Ireland, Irish people, they have a drink, the largest amount of beer, in the world per capita wise. Like on average, is one person per bottle, which is a 500 ml bottle per day almost. But because of the climate change, due to the barley production declines and the beer price rise up, so in the future, the consumption for the island, the Irish people, they are gonna reduce to one bottle per week almost, and the price gonna shoot up about double the price from currently $2.50 US to almost $5 per bottle. Some Eastern European countries, such as Estonia, Czech Republic, they are the large beer consumption countries as well. Their price gonna shooting up 6 to 7 times. Compared to the UK and Germany, the price is gonna rise 50 to 80% as well. So yes, climate change is gonna have a huge impact on our quality of life.
Professor Dabo Guan from the University of East Anglia speaking to Mariko a little earlier. Now, beauty's big business in South Korea, where plastic surgery rates are among the highest in the world. But change could be on the way. more and more young women have begun to reject the high standards set by their culture. Laura Bicker reports now from Seoul on a movement known as Escape the Corset.
Getting the right job requires the right look in South Korea. Kim Chu-hui, like thousands of other graduates, is paying for a professional photo shoot for her job applications.
The people who hire me don't know who I am. They have to judge me based on how I look on the photo. So I wanted to give them the best version of myself to make a good impression on them.
Women are expected to look a certain way, especially those who seek success.
It's okay that your head is slightly tilted, but your facial expression is the most important.
These pictures go to boardrooms across Seoul, still dominated by men with the power to hire or fire. But some have decided to battle against the idea of what it means to be beautiful in South Korea, in a feminist movement which has grown on social media. Lena Bay, who once gave makeup tutorials, decided she'd had enough of the 12-step K-beauty routine.
I think lots of Korean women are wearing an appearance corset. They also have this immense fear of what is shown to others. I heard women feel especially shameful when they hear they are ugly. I was like that as well.
But this movement has faced a backlash. Feminists protesting for equality were accused of being man-haters. Lena Bay faced personal attacks on her YouTube video.
There were even death threats saying that they will come find me and kill me. After I received that death threat, I was afraid of leaving the house.
Even the smallest of changes can prompt the loudest outcry. Presenter Yim Hyun-ju has made what in South Korea is a bold decision. She became the first female news anchor to wear her glasses on air.
I asked myself, is it really wrong to wear glasses? If it's a lighting problem, the male anchors shouldn't wear glasses as well. But they do it without thinking. So why haven't female anchors worn glasses? But I think these glasses brought a lot of change in me. I became more free. I think these glasses gave me wings called freedom.
They may be small in number for now, but it's rare to see and hear such voices in this once conformist society. Some hope the movement can now be used to make real progress on other pressing gender equality issues in South Korea. Laura Bicker, BBC News, Seoul.
Now, how do you give fossils a future? The answer seems to be putting them online, and that's exactly what London's Natural History Museum, Washington Smithsonian have set out to do. Digitally record millions of fossils in their collections, many of which have been hidden away in drawers for decades. Our science correspondent Victoria Gill reports.
So we're in our brachiopod collection.
Tucked into thousands of drawers, the entire history of life on Earth.
There's dozens of things in every box, in every... Wow.
Yeah.
There are 40 million fossils stored here at the Smithsonian Museum, and the team is carrying out the mammoth task of digitally recording every single one.
We have drawers here in the collection that haven't been opened in decades. The data held within museum drawers is trapped, and we are bringing that trapped data out into the light. We're mobilizing it for research.
Photographing and logging the details of each specimen in this collection alone will take an estimated 50 years. But it's part of an effort by institutions around the world to create a global digital museum where every piece of the fossil record can be studied online. The devastating fire at Brazil's National Museum this year destroyed knowledge that was amassed over 2 centuries and was a stark reminder of the need to protect and log such scientifically valuable collections.
This goes way beyond ensuring this huge collection. It means that this Triceratops skull, for example, could be in dozens of places at once, anywhere in the world, for any scientist to study.
And with a very detailed digital scan and a 3D printer, researchers here at Bristol University have been able to bring these dinosaurs into their lab.
This model is great because it allows us to kind of look in detail at the anatomy and pick it up and hold it and turn it around.
Amazing.
And now we can actually test ideas about how these animals actually functioned.
The digital skulls can be given virtual stress tests to work out what the animals ate, how they moved, and so what their environment was like 150 million years ago. Museums have gathered vast amounts of evidence of hundreds of millions of years of evolution. Now the challenge is to make sure it's shared and studied, not hidden away in the dark. Victoria Gill, BBC News in Washington, DC.
That's it for this edition of Newsday on the BBC. I'm Ben Bland in London.
And I'm Marie Goy in Singapore. Don't go away, I'll be back with business news, but for now, thank you for watching Newsday.
Hello. Well, Monday's looking pretty quiet for most of us on the weather front, and in fact, if you're wondering about the week ahead, it's not looking bad at all. It is going to turn progressively colder through the week, but nothing dramatic happening on the weather front. So let's see what's happening then on Monday. For many of us, it's actually going to start off fairly bright, if not sunny. A touch of frost is on the way, certainly for Scotland and northern parts of England. So here's the forecast then. Through the early hours of Monday morning, chilly northwesterly winds blowing in. Not much cloud out there, just a couple of showers maybe here and there. Here's that frost again across Scotland and northern England, down into Yorkshire as well, around -1, 2 degrees. But to the south of that, it's closer to +5 for Cardiff and for London. So it starts off bright, if not sunny. Sunny particularly in the east, but very quickly, this cloud you can see out west will be brought in by an increasing southwesterly breeze, so it will end up pretty cloudy, if not grey, across many of these western areas. The mildest spot will be Plymouth, 12 degrees, pretty balmy here compared to Newcastle, only around 5 degrees Celsius. Then on Tuesday, slightly less cold air, even quite mild air heads our way. You can see this southwesterly wind and the sort of a tongue of warmth all the way up into the north. With that also a couple of weather fronts, one here which is actually not going to bring us much rain, even though you can see rain here. This is another weather front here which is basically just a fair bit of cloud. So Tuesday across much of Scotland, England and Wales, probably staying fairly cloudy with some sunshine poking through. Here's the other weather front. It's not making much progress, so it'll stay to the west of us, I think. So Belfast should be dry on Tuesday. And 12 degrees here, 12 for Plymouth as well. Then on Wednesday, we start to see a little bit of a change. The winds die down, and in fact, we start to develop an ever so slightly more easterly wind. That also means that the temperatures will start to dip. So I think for most of us, it's down to single figures, 6s and 7s, that sort of thing, maybe just about scraping a 10 there in Plymouth. Now, the bigger picture shows where the colder air is coming from on Thursday, in fact, all the way from Russia, across the Baltic, southern Scandinavia, the North Sea. You can see that colder air ends up right across the UK. Not desperately cold, but you will feel those temperatures dipping away as we go through the week. In fact, let's take a look at London then. You can see on Monday it's 10 degrees, by Wednesday it's 8. And on Thursday and Friday around 5 or 6 degrees, and at times pretty cloudy too, so it will feel cold. Bye-bye.
Follow the story, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. You can follow every moment in depth with BBC News. Get the full story at bbc.co.uk/news. Get the headlines as they happen with the breaking news alert. And keep up with events by watching the BBC News channel in the app. Follow the story wherever you are with BBC News.
This is weird, isn't it?
No, still weird. But if there's a report about where I live or what I do,
it usually sounds like this.
Or it might be this.
Or maybe even this.
Or sometimes this.
The BBC Young Reporter competition wants to change that.
If you're aged between 11 and 18 and have a story you think needs telling, the BBC can help you tell it. Find your voice and enter now at bbc.co.uk/Young Reporter competition.
Hello, I'm Ben Bland with BBC News. Our top story. Court documents released in Canada show that the detained Huawei executive Meng Wanzhou has asked for bail on the grounds that she's innocent, unwell and won't flee the country. Over a week after she was first detained in Vancouver, the Huawei chief financial officer will be back in court later on Monday for her bail application. A man has appeared in court in New Zealand charged with murdering a British backpacker. On Sunday, police investigating the murder of Grace Mullane found a body on the outskirts of Auckland. And this story is trending on BBC.com. Manchester City striker Raheem Sterling has accused some British newspapers of fueling racism with the way they portray young black footballers. Sterling's comments came after he suffered alleged racist abuse during a match. That's all, but stay with us on BBC News. Now on BBC News, it's Hard Talk with Sarah Montague, and the following programme includes accounts of sexual violence that some viewers might find upsetting.
Welcome to Hard Talk with me, Sarah Montague. When militants from the so-called Islamic State went into Nadia Murad's village in northern Iraq, they killed all the Yazidi men and took hundreds of women captive, where they were passed between different men and raped. Nadia eventually managed to escape and since then has become the face of a campaign for the world to take a tougher line on the use of sexual violence as a weapon of war. Today she'll be honoured with the award of the Nobel Peace Prize, and I'll be speaking to her again in Oslo later. I first spoke to her in London in 2016. Nadia Murad, welcome to Hard Talk. Before Islamic State militants came to your village, which was, what, 18 months ago, can you give us some sense of what your life was like?
حياتها ما قلق أش مرة خوش بو وقلق بسيط بو نشوان حياتي تيت أو وقال قندادة بو هيش قلق مالت ما وكا مالا مبخوا خوشكو برايت ما هيش نقصرو أو بون هيجش كربي جوان بو تشتوسا بس هرم بحياتها خود رادي بون أمد دوري هر مشكلة كي بون ما تعدك اليقينات كير ما أم بهر إنسانة كي رد تصريح بون حياتها ما قلق خوش بون بري بيك.
Can you tell us what happened when the militants from Islamic State came into the village?
السيمها هشت 2014 داعش هجومي ازدياقرت شنغالي بري هنجي هجومي وكا كتبو منطقة دي وكا تلحفر وموسلوان اوي دي در وكا شيعة وكا مسيحيوان دراني نشمال دوان دركتن وكا خيار داني دركبن يا جزية بدن او دركتن وقت هجوم دانا الشنغالي دانا ايزديا هاتنا ايزديا بكشتنا زلامت مو برناكا جوجنا هناك ايزدي قهشنا اجادش برجاي شنغالي نيزيكي قندابو قالك ايزدي جي قهشنا جا ونيزيكا 3000 زلامي وزاروكاوان روجا بري هاتا كشتن ومعوقو ايت حمرت مزنو او بهزارة والروجي كجو جنشوان دراب خورا برنو زاروك قندي ما يدوري جابو ام محاصر ما نقاري مهمة ام نقشتي نجيب بيشا قندي ما قرتن داعش ما نقاري ام دركبنا محاصر كرنا القندة خلقي قند هموي بشتي ام محاصر كرينو چند روجا كادورا ام جي همو وكما طلبة مساعدة كرت نكدنا نيف معلا دورا قند بون ما تلفونا وتشتاوان هر جهة كي ما كاري ما تلفونا طلبة مساعدة كرم مساعدة مشالية كي بابيا كرن مزاني تشتكي بيس وما كان بس مساعدة ما نهاتا كرنش هر جهة كي با نش داخلي عراقي ونش غير شي بشتي چند روجا كا أمليكهم كرنم همو المدرسة ثانوية كوجودا وكم أو مدرسة الجندي مدبت نبوم كرنا زكيوي مدرسة دا ام چند زاروك وجنو زلامو همو والورجي دا اختم ام كرينا زكي مدرسة دا زلامت ما هموش نيف مدرانين يزقا 700 زلامي دورا قند رمي كرن كشتنا وزلام الويدر يجبر وقتل بقى دين المكرن شهادنا ما دخيار الدانا ما يا كشتن بويامي دين أخو غيرين أم جنو زاركو أو جي تشتب ما با وكدرا بما جهار وقستيل كتشتويد ما با هموش مكرن وأم برنا جياكي دي ويروجي ده.
So you have a large family. How many of your brothers did they take?
برايت ما نهل نفوان دابون نف زلامت هكا هاتينا كشتن سيجي إش بريندارش نف رمياوان فلتين وخو آليا دبازدان وهرششت شوان ميسترد هات إد زوجي هرشش هادنا كشتن بغان زلامت هاتينا كشتن.
How did you know? Were you aware of what was happening?
أو زلام اختها مو برين زلامت كنت ما بران مجيل نفدا وكل الشباكة مدرسة وان مادي ومدن كي تلقات كر وقت الزلام كشتن وكب جابت خو من نادي براين مهادنا كشتن بس هتانوها أو هر هفسد زلام هتانوها قندي مجي وكل دست داعش دايم نجهشتنا وان جيت هكالي هاتنا كشتن وهتانوها أخبار كمان وكيكيش وان هر هفسد زلامي نما نزاهموها عنا كشتن نزاهن بخورة برنم تشتكي جي.
So 700 men disappeared, basically. They killed your mother as well, I think.
زعروك برن كوركيت ات 4 سالي وسر برن بخورة معسكرة هر الوي روجج دا وهم كتشكد 9 سالي وسرش نيف درانين ودا كان مجيب هشتي جني راش ات 45 سالي وسرت قوتن بحمرة مازنن وكدرانين اش هنجدا اتولدا بون وكا هناك قوتن كشتن هناك قوتن شنجدا ما تشتكجي نزاني بس ببري دمها كا وقت هنش جزء شنقال هاتي حرر عندن مقبرة وان لهذا ديدن السولار هجداش عائلة ما هتان ويد كشتي ويد ونداوان ماينر بس هر يكي بن حكمي وان دو بيض المبصري هاتي حسابتكم عائلة.
Can you tell us what happened when they took you and the other women? Where did they take you to? What did they do to you?
الوير روجة دا جهة روجة كهو المكرين بوشيف هتام جيك وقت عندن وكم كرنا أقسام بسدو بينجي كتشكي رأس و سيكا جد برايم هر سيجيش مكجك تربون مرش معلا معانين بسدو بينجي كتشكي روي شيبه أما بباسا بوزا أم برنا أموسل هیچ ما نزانی و ماکو جن یا و چوب ماکن بس ما زانی وقت تشتكي قنجم ما ناكنش برس زلام كشتن و جنيف حمرت مازن كشتن و زاروك برن بس وقت مكرنا بوزادة ومبرن هرب ريبا مدبرنا موصل البوزادة داعش النف مدى دست خود كرا بيسيريد مدى ريها خوال ما بداها طام نقهشتنا ويداري.
And then when you got to Mosul, what happened to you then?
أم برنا موسلم داني نبشي في المقرة كشت خواته وكا مقرة كي جلكي مازن بو تطبقي أو بو أم درباس كرني دا كجو جنو زارو كويت هكا بري ما قرتين بري قندي ما إجتي دابونيت إزتيا أم درباسي في مقرة كرنوي شي بمت شو ما باجن كي شوان مقوتي دا بني تشبوا كرينا وكا بري ما هون قرتينا نزان تشبوا كرينا قوام نزيكا 4 كتشكو جني بتني آني نبي مقرر روجا بريا ما أم برين جو هتينا نف مدى داعش هر ساعة كيتين هنا قاعد بنت اختصابت كنو ديسابت جيرنو تفروش نوسا جوش نو هاتاس بهين وصل الوجه كن مزاني هكا وكوي وكوانا ميدي هو الماجيك.
And then what happened?
والروجينا روجا دي إيفاري هاتن كدنا نف مدى داعش وحركة جيا كش ياك رات كرش كشكا هركي ياكش خورت بر وكا قالك جيت هجت 10 سالي 12 سالي وانا بقالكش مكجكتر اتقاسي تشتان بزورا رات كرنود برن ياك هاتا مجي كجت برايم وقت كشكوك بونود ودكريانو النويران يكسر ترى وكز شوان ميستر بمخما بازفت كرن ياكيش وكاي همو داعش بونو هموش ويتشتي راحات بونا ما همو جيك بيستر بون بس يكي جلكي مازن هاتمو ويش هم أسرع كرم أزداني ما بنيوز شوان كجد برايم قد كرم أو جيش خو حركة يك شوان جيش خو ربر وقت أزداني ما بني على أساس أوي قلم بباز جلكي شوي ترسام يكي دي البر مرات شو لينجن وكا غير لينجن البر مرات شو المخو عابي تيدا مقود تيدا مدبي زبطر بين بس زبيا قلورا نويرم چم جلكي مازنا ويا ذهيب قوتم قو أزيت أبا مقوتا ويا قلا قو أزي بيش خرب.
So you went with the man that you thought might be easier for you, a smaller man than the big man. And what did he do?
مزاني هر هكا كيجيز برموي وكما اختصاب كنو جوي تشتي راحاتي نما بس اوي ضعيف وكا واسبيرا تشوم ازبر ما مقاري خو ولوي مقاري دا حرزو دوي هابونو او قالك وكا وقتي اس اختصاب كريم وبطريقة كم زحمت وقالك زحمت المتكرن الوي وقتي جدام قلت هكا هر وصابو خوزي زبويا قلو رچوبا مهار دركت اوي قلو كچا براي مشي ويش ما كچتر هر كچا كشيت براي مش خرابر همو جيك بزحمات بون رحم البايكيش همان ابو هر داعش بون هر او نفسايكم هموش اختصابي رد برن بس اختصابك شي ما تكرنا بطريقة قالك كيف زحمت عمل باخو كتا كتشكل باخو نتشتنش اش اسبوعك يجي رايا اما الروش عادت فروتن الساعات عادت عادنا فروتن زوري وكا هاتش تشتي بيس ما تكرن ما تشتي هكا يشمل حياتي دا نديتي تشتي هكا ما نقف حلمي وكا احلامي ما بون هكا تشك اف تشتي بسري ما بي بس وكا وصلنا.
You say your nieces were also there. How young were some of the girls that you were with?
كتشكيت بمرة 15 صالي هتا 15 صالي وبندبون زارو كدي هناك جن براين مجي وقتي ام قرتين بحال بون هيجي زارو بون.
You were held for 3 months. In that time, did you have conversations or any normal conversations with these men who were holding you?
بيبام قوتي ما قوت شراهن بيفسري ما تكن شرا وهو زلامد ما كشتنوهن هو بطريقة بيس ما اختصابتكن قوت ام قو از دي كافرنو ونش نأهل الكتابين ولازم هن سبايانا افتشتب لازم بحقي وبيش برهن كافرنو وجبرم هادبون ايزد يا ديني ايزد يا بمسحين ايزد يا كينا هيلن بس هناك جي فلتين من نو ساعد قوم اقول بمكتا كينا هيلن ابشري عما وقت قوتا متابقين وتشتي وسامتك.
Did any of the Islamic State men show, or women, show you any compassion?
مياكي باش النيفو عند نديت وجنيد وانجي وكا مبخوش جنيد كلاكا نديتن بس هينا كتشك هنا كعائلة هنا جديدنا قلت هروجي عائلة وانجي نفسها وانا مرة وتكرن بس اويز البال وكا قوتا مكتشكا مهايا وايه هري بريها كسبريم قوكا تشكا مهايا نابي وسارايا وسا تشتوي وساود قوتن بس بعائلة بون قالك جيب عائلة بون وافتشتي واتكرن او عائلة خوها مو بيد رادي بون الرحمش قالك يشهم بالبال نبو جارك ابتني مطلبات تلفوني جكر مقوتي بس أصدقائك برايك مني فلتي بو من رقماوي زاني وكوري خوش كامجي مقوتي دا أصدقائك زاني من چه العائلة مهات و چه كابني چه بمالا مهات بني بس حسا براي خوابكم اش براي مرة ندا اش كوري براي مرة تلفون دامه بس اوجي بعقوبك نيزي كاد دقيقة بعقوبة او تلفون جدامه عقوباوي وتليا لينجي خوات كده هنجفده قدام قوات تليا لينجي بكده بخوده زنو تلفوني دما توازا مجبور بما بچه طريقي بز دنجي مالا خوابكم هر قبول كر حتى دقيقة بيفت.
You said that they told you to convert to Islam. Did you think about that?
عاد دين هر يكش ما بربانا أم تبرن وكا أم حكمت خود إسلامي أو جدوانت هكاتي أم بزوري وكا شهدا خود داب زوري أم بسلمان تكرن بسر بيتشتي بزوري أتكرن أم كديني خو بغير.
What, they would force you to pray, to behave like a Muslim rather than a Yazidi?
بله.
How did you manage to escape?
جارة بري وقت زلباوية هري بري بشتيس اختصاب كرمو وسا مرة قلقي بيزبو مقوازي بعزم بهور نكرس خلاص ومجبر هر جاكي الموصل دا داعشي تيدابو هي روجيت بري وكم قوت أزي بازدم از دركت من بر شباكي را حرزكي شوان سكرتم وقتي أذكرتي مسكر ما غرفة كده الباوانجي قانونك هبو هر سبيا وكا كچكات قوتن سبيا هجا بازدابا هكا قردبانه اتكرنا مقراده هكا چند داعشتي دبانه چونه بال وقت كرنا واند قوت وقت جهادي نكا حجي ببيات شو بالزكي ورده بسري كچكي بي وكا جبر بازداناوي وهنجز قرده مسكر ماني في حرزيت خدا بشتي هنجي وكا مقاوات نماز هبيدي كعربم بفكر مجي أزباز بدم الموصل زلبا هاري تالية كيب تنيبو أوجي وكاوي هر أس سر الروجاوي أسفرود باما بشتي چونك جلقود مبينس خوابشوم أو كم جهنك بين مببن اش مقر دركتم مدي سابه ورنا كرس خلاص بس از دركت مسكد ما مالك ده هر مالك بالسلمان بالموصل علاقتي وان وكب داعش رنبون بس وكل مالا خود معبون مقوتي ده مساعدة ما بكن كاود بيبتشا هكا بدراف بي هكا بتشبه برامل ويدري يزي بشميدا بلا اوشكي وكا شورك بني ود بيتش بس مساعدة بكن قلت أما قوام نبدأ عشرنا وعلاقتي مشوانينا جدال مع أخوينا وكوشي وكدعاي لابون مساعدة مكرنا بهر تشتي هكا كارين وأسب جل كده رشوان كرمو بهوية إسلامية برما حدود.
And that allowed you to escape and get out.
وعائلة مساعدة مكر ساعد بما خلاص.
There are many women who've been held who killed themselves out of desperation. Was it something that at the time you thought?
وكا أمد كشتي بون نبدأ سد وعند بيها كس بحاولين مخابكش مرن وكا زديم بجم مرن جارك يا كسلام مروف بمري جارك يا بس هر ساعات متعدنا أكشت ما نزاني ترسا حاول دلي ما ده هبوش بر ما نزاني كي دقيقة وين ما بن وكي دقيقة يكش كي دريو كش تجهي وين ما با كشتن أس بي نفكر خوابكش مجبر أزديم نواكو وقت داعش بري وانجي زديم بجم كخودي حياتك دا زلاما كزلام شب زلاما كر لازم زلام في حياتك قبل انجازي به هكب ظلم هات سري مروف هكا تشلو به زلام تحمليه بك وزلام في حياتي رادي به تشتي خودي دا زلاما بس قالك اخو انتحار كر وكا كتشكش قندي موش غيري دي.
But I wonder that you didn't question your faith. You didn't wonder, given what happened to you, whether there was a God.
ديم وكا إيمانا مبخودي هبو إنه أزي خلاص مش برش لكي ديبا أويت هكا هو المذكرن بشربون وكم بشربون ووقتي أم محاصر ماين وعالم همو بيحسيا وبهزارة الجادبون محاصر مان وكا اشتينا وشنيزا وان زاروك مرن عالمي همو هنجي دي وكا يكي خو ند لفانت ديم خودي البيراميد ابو بشر مساعدة بشر البيراميد نبو مساعدة خودي هر البيراميد ابو بلي وكم ملاتي ما همو ايمانا ما قالك بخوديتي وكم خودي هر دقيقة وطاف تشتي بسري متاعتا كرنو وكا وقت اغتصابي وانجي هر خودي البيراميد ابو.
And we should explain that the Yazidi faith, there are only a few thousand people left in the world who practice.
أم إزدي إد عراقي وقو الكردستان دا بيسد هزارة علاقتي ما وقب تشديني ربي علاقتي ما بري هينا مسيحيارة بسلمانارة وبيهوديارة هر جيكي وهر دينكي علاقتي ما بيرهينو احترامها مش هر دينكي رهايا وكم أمجي خودي وكا إيمانا ما بخوديتي كملاتي.
And when you think about the men who raped you in the time that you were being held, what do you want to happen to them?
مدبي محكمة كيفكن مدبي أويت هكا أفتشتكرين بين عدالتي وكا عدالة شب حقيوان داديني بدايني.
You would like to see them prosecuted in an international court?
بل.
Do you also want to see soldiers, ground troops going in from Western countries to take on Islamic State?
وكا آلية عسكري وان تشتكيش عسكر وقوات وتشتي وصاوة وأسفهم ناكم بس هر دولتك وهر عسكرك الرابع لازم فكري وان هبه وكا زانب شبكن جا تعدل الواني كجوجني دستي واندن ناكرن وجا بس او داعش بين قرتن وكا قالك هين الوان منطقة سوريا والعراق وانجي وكو كب السلمانجي وكو عائلة حكاس خلاص كريم نب داعش جرينا مدوي وقف أبيت عسكري أو تشتكي بكن إنه داعش بيا قرتن داعش بين عدالتهم بس علوني بكا وكا هي منطقة ما نهاتنا حرر عندنا كامل قالك بيت جد ما بين حرر عندنا ولو هتانوها مقبرت ما تجد هاتنا حرر عندنا هاتنا بكرنجي لمد بيه وكا قندي ما بيا حرر عندنا شم شن ببينن بسالوني بكا وكا اويت هاتنا كشتن كبرايت ما وبابت ما نزاننا نا آبه وكا هستد وان برخبرينا نا حيوان برينا ما دبي هر تشتكيش هر إنسانة كي ربكن أبيت هكا بمليون دركتين جدوان وقرين ما دبي بانكا جوجنا خلاص كن.
There are young people all over the world who are attracted by what so-called Islamic State is doing and want to go and fight for them. What do you say to them?
الرسالة مش وان الشباب روش وان كتشكار خاصة بيت كهنة داعش بلا زانبن انه وقت عمد بيجنو و ما خوا دا كشتن هتا بس ام خلاص ببن اجبر داعش بس كشتن بو و اغتصاب كرن بو هر تشتي بيسي هكا نيزيكي ايش عقلي بشر نابي او تشتت كرن از بجمعان بري هون بقهنا داعش بري زانبن كداعش تشا نصر فكرك الديني هون شن بقهنا نصر تشتكي هكا بيجن وش ورا كن يا وسع داعش هر هكا نب بسلاحي بهرب إنسانتي كشتنا البيوانة وخسارة البيوانة وكاز جوان شبابا وان كشكار دي ساد بيجم خدوري في تشتي بدنيدا وببينن ام تشتكن هتا ام خلاصتكن وام تشتكن هتا ام ايد دستيوانت معي خلاص بكن.
You've been all over the world with your campaign to get the world to notice what's going on. You've spoken at the United Nations. What difference is it making?
إيش أمريكا هتا قد دولتي عربي وهتا بإت أوروبي وهتا بريطانيا جي وكهرية كيشما بال كرئيس كبرلمان أشوان رد بيجم وتشتي وكان هجم قد تشتي هكا مديتي وإيه هكا هتان هاد بيجي وهوكا هموزان كداعش أشوان رد بيجم وكا وقوهي خودنا وكا وعدكي ناتنا وعدكي هكا بيجن مفلان تشتيش ورقن أو تشتكي نهاتي كرنجيت بيجن أميل وكا القضية نيرن بس هتانها تشتاقنا بوي وكا أف تشتيت شمش وان رد بيج مستلبيش وان كم مدبيل سر ساعات تشبه بيجبر مليون عالم اللي هي بيا حلك يا حلك الفي قضية الفي داعش بكن داعش خلاص بكن السر ساعات طلبة مساعدة شوان كم خو بحركين بس وقف مهدي رجون زفي تشتيد بيجمو تشتاكين أبويا.
Do you have any hope that they will do something, that they will be able to stop ISIS?
أزل هي فيما.
Nadia Morad, thank you very much for coming on Hard Talk.
وقت هوا مقوتة زي ما هارتوكم أو كريا قالك عالم بكي بوابيتها كاس ناس كلمة كوتن جاكي قالك أو عالم هم متابعات كا متبي وكا صار ريافي في قناتي وانو بيكي عالم تشتكيش مرة بكا خديها مجي تعبين ما هو كارن هرو وقف نبوا تشكا أسبوعك يا ما هكي وان أفسالك أو سالوني بقى تشتي وسا وكم همو بي خدان ماينا بي وكوي قوتم كتشكم هيا وكا أو داكم وكا هاتا كشتن بابي مش مجد نبو براهمني مزن شو إش مري وكا بابو أو جهات كشت من بعالم تشتكي بك